Well, the Fox 5 I-team sat down one-on-one with Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis to talk about her high-profile election fraud investigation. Willis is taking steps to make sure her office and employees are safe in the wake of comments about her by former President Trump. Those comments and news that she had asked the FBI for security help led to a flood of calls that Willis describes as vile. Senior I-team reporter Dale Russell has the latest on that.
It doesn't bother me. I don't lose 1 hour of sleep over it.
First-term Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis says she wasn't worried this weekend when former President Donald Trump lashed out at her and other prosecutors investigating Mr. Trump.
These prosecutors are vicious, horrible people. They're racists and they're very sick. They're mentally sick.
What they say about me, I mean, it's really of no consequence. I don't care.
But that all changed when she heard Mr. Trump calling for the biggest protest ever in Atlanta and other cities if she and other prosecutors do anything wrong.
Move them this way.
With images of the attack on the Capitol last January still fresh in her mind, Willis immediately reached out to the FBI for help in securing the courthouse and nearby buildings.
I took those comments seriously in the sense that I knew that they could incite people. We've already seen that.
Willis says following Mr. Trump's comments, she had to tie up multiple employees to handle a high volume of phone calls that were often vile.
The rhetoric, quite frankly, is almost 95% of the time racist in nature, and I want to make sure that we stay safe.
Trump's comments came after the Fox 5 I-team and others reported last week that Willis was set to begin a special grand jury to investigate a host of alleged presidential election fraud crimes in Fulton County, including this phone call made during her second day on the job.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
President Donald Trump on a recorded phone call following his election defeat. The then president directly urged Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to throw out what Mr. Trump considered to be fraudulent votes, which would give him the electoral victory. How do you investigate a call like that?
I'm not going to get into those kind of specifics of the investigation. We are looking at the issues surrounding the 2020 election. That call is part of that investigation.
There it is, right in front of our faces.
The grand jury is also expected to hear testimony regarding Rudy Giuliani's claims before the Georgia legislature of stolen votes, claims that have been proven wrong.
To find out what happened, to make sure it never happens again.
And Senator Lindsey Graham's call to Secretary of State Raffensperger when Graham asked the Secretary of State if he could throw out all the absentee ballots in a county that had a high number of mismatched signatures on mail-in votes. Senator Graham's spokesperson earlier told us it was a ridiculous accusation. He said Senator Graham never asked the Secretary of State to disqualify a ballot cast by anyone.
What I can tell you is I don't think that this is a joke. The right to vote is very, very important. Making sure that that's not tainted or that it's not impacted in any way improper is a very serious thing.
The grand jury investigating possible crimes during the past presidential election will begin in May. Fani Willis says that grand jury will have up to a year to make their final recommendation. From the Fulton County Courthouse, Dale Russell, Fox 5 News.